Hey guys, William here, aka Big Bastard, and as promised, I will be reviewing the Finn starter kit, Bold. I already have, I can't say I have a reservation, but I'm not too happy about the fact that it's 24 milligrams, which I know is considered the higher end, but the Enjoy Bolds are actually 45 milligrams nicotine. So not I prefer the higher nicotine content. I know a lot of people are trying to get away from that, but that's my preference. Now, before I do review the Finn, I quickly want to touch on these two products that I had reviewed yesterday. With the Daily, I did have one issue. The battery life seems to be pretty good, and I'll explain what I'm comparing that to in a minute. But I did have one issue with some seepage when I was vaping pretty decently with it yesterday. And I wouldn't even call it hard vaping, but probably a lot more than you would actually use a cigarette for a sustained period of time. That was been the only issue I've had with that side of what was mentioned in the review. With these, I'm a little irritated. I know I was so giggly about them, but one thing that did irritate me is this one here is in the end slot now because it literally redlined on me after about 2 hours. And, you know, this again comes to what was discussed concerning the relative puffs, you know, so many packs. I can guarantee you, though, that even though I was vaping pretty decently on this, because I was doing these two on and off, but I also had regular cigarettes, analogs that I was going with. So the thing is, you cannot convince me that even 2 hours of vape on this is the so-called 2.5 packs that's supposed to be uh, relative 10 puffs per cigarette, supposedly. Uh, I have issues with that, and I still have 4 more. I've been vaping on the one on this end, and that's going good so far. I don't know if the sustained use was actually the issue with this. Let's go ahead and try and see. It's hitting light. And it'll probably redline after a couple more. Yep. So yeah, I have a real issue with that. As far as the flavor on these, I know I said it wasn't bad, but I got to thinking, and most of what I compared was in comparison to regular cigarettes. Uh, with the taste on these, it's kind of a tobacco e-liquid type distinctive taste. And I was more comparing that to tobacco e-liquids that I had. Uh, I've had lots of experience with various tobacco liquids. Most of them taste like horse piss, in my opinion. And before any wise guy asks, no, I haven't tasted horse piss, but you get the point. And I have not found any e-liquid that actually replicates Camel. I've not found any e-liquid that replicates Marlboro quite to my taste. My go-to e-liquid is the RY4 from Mr. E-Liquid, and that's pretty good. But I can't even compare that to either Marlboro or Camel, where traditional analogs are considered. So, you know, taste-wise, I would actually give it, and especially since I've had more experience with it, taste-wise, I would probably give it now a 5. It's still decent, you know, but all things considered, uh, probably not to a lot of people's taste. I can handle it just because I've had a lot of bad e-liquids, and I do like the flavor on that, even though it's not tobacco-y enough as far as I'm concerned. But now getting into this Fin bowl, you can see the nice little retro design here, and you do have it feeling like a pack of cigarettes. If you were to open this straight out of retail and look at the instructions, you would probably get the idea you could vape this straight off. You can't. The Electric Tobacconist website says to charge it properly before use, and I did, and it took a couple to 3 hours to charge properly. It's supposed to take only 2, so it took about that, relatively. Now, pulling it out, you have this tray, nicely designed tray. You see the reservoir with the e-liquid here. It's in a sealed pouch, which is nice. The USB cord and the battery here. You also get this little instruction booklet, which is everything but helpful if you're first starting this and you think you can straight off hit it from the get-go, which this gives you no indication that you can't, and you are literally left with this product, if you were to buy it retail, without anyone telling you, thinking, hey, yeah, I can hit that puppy straight up. So now I'm going to take the battery out, take the little capsule out, the filter, if you will. It's in that sealed pouch. Opens nice and easy, that's good. Got the 2 plastic ends. One of those no shit Sherlock moments is that you obviously are going to take those off before using. Threaded. One thing, Rat Pack, I think it was Rat Pack Rebel. Someone was talking about the fact that one of the Enjoy products did not have threaded filters. The Enjoy rechargeable. Yeah, it was Rat Pack Rebel. And obviously threaded is a much better idea. You know, for all sorts of obvious reasons. You don't want to be sitting there vaping hard and, you know, put pressure on the wrong area and snap. You don't want that going on. You can see it's got a nice design. Retro, not a big fan of the brown filter, but for reasons I've mentioned, you know, too reminiscent of the E-Cigarillos. But we're going to go ahead and hit this and see how it works. It's got a nice weight to it. Feels cigarette enough. Looks cigarette enough for me. And like I said, that nice retro design, which I actually find appealing, aside of what I mentioned about the cigarillos. You see, it's not as much vape production as you actually get from the Enjoy. Actually, either of the 2 Enjoy products. So there is that. The throat hit is a little light. Almost non-existent. It's a lot like this in that regard. A lot like the Enjoy Daily. The flavor, I'm kind of mixed on it. It's got similar taste to this, but it's a lot lighter, so in some ways it's almost like you're not getting any flavor at all. These are definitely the cheaper option, by the way, of these. I didn't cover costs on these. Costs on these, if they do last as long as they say they last, is something that doesn't bother me as much as it does other people, just because I'm used to buying the Mercedes of cigarettes, the Marlboros, and basically you figure each one of these is supposed to be 2.5 packs, so figure 5, 6.5 packs. Yeah, I know that took way too long. And that's, I mean, even our cheap uh, generics here run about that for 6 packs or so. So that's not an issue for me. You know, if you bought 17 generic packs, yeah, you'd be about half a pack down on this, but it's about equivalent cost wise. So that's not really a bother for me if they last as long as they do. This though, this starter kit was $10.99, and you can get the 5 refill cartridges for, I believe it is, $11.99. Now think about that, okay? 5 refill cartridges on this versus 5 disposables here. The 5 cartridges costing $11.99. This costing $27.99. That's if you get a good deal. So you got the price factor. But I am having issues with the flavor on this, with the hit. I'm not really getting the hit, and there's not even a lot of vapor production. I'll give it a few more drags, and we'll see how it goes. But overall, I'm not impressed initially with the fin for the reasons I mentioned. Getting a little better hit now. I have to draw deep to get that. You see the vape production's going up too. These are on deep draws though. But still not getting that flavor. Yeah, so overall, here's how I rate the Fin starter kit. Nice look, nice packaging. They got that right. Um, Boy, man, if Rat Pack Rebel wants to unload on somebody for putting into packaging and not in product, Fin's the one to go after for sure. Vape production, I'd give, just because it went up, I give about 7. Taste is almost non-existent. I'll give that actually a 3 because there's almost no taste to it. Throat hit is about a 4 out of 10. So, not terribly impressed with the Fin E-Cig. I don't know if that's because of the lower nicotine content or what, but definitely much prefer the Enjoys to that. Either one to that, which is saying a lot because you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of this. So that's my review on the Fin starter kit. And battery life I can't really address just because I'm technically vaping this out of the box. Yeah, I charged it, but it's not like I literally did not draw on it at all until filming this. So I'll have to render a verdict on battery life later. That's my review, and I'll see you guys later. I hope to get more material and content out, especially for the vapors that are tuning in. And this is Big Bastard signing out. We'll see you guys next time.